In 44 BC, the world experienced a devastating volcanic eruption. Its effects were global, and it hit ancient Egypt hard, causing catastrophic failures of the life-giving Nile flood and years of famine, pushing Cleopatra and her country towards self-destruction and political ruin.
Rome is in civil war, which is both very difficult for Cleopatra, but in a way puts her in quite an interesting position of power.
Rival factions turned to Cleopatra for financial and logistical aid. In richer times, it's possible the queen could have backed both sides and hedged her bets. But with her country crippled by famine, Cleopatra was forced to make a decision that could cost her everything. According to the Alexandrian historian Appian, she tried to buy herself some time before making her fateful choice.
Cleopatra, we're told by Appian, uses as an excuse the fact that Egypt is experiencing famine and plague, and so is not able to help.
For centuries, historians like Appian have interpreted the reference to plague as a cunning excuse, a ploy that would allow Cleopatra to identify the stronger side before declaring her allegiance. But experts now believe that Cleopatra's excuse for failing to come to the fight may well have been true. And the famine and disease she was describing were the after effects of the volcanic eruption in 44 BC. As thousands of starving refugees swarmed into the city in search of food.
Mass migration of people and the whole movement of populations from place to place encourages the risk of infectious diseases being transmitted. People are coming together, they're sharing food, they're sharing liquids, and they're sharing an environment which encourages the spreading of diseases.
Dr. Hutan Ashrafian, Chief Scientific Advisor at Imperial College in London, has been investigating the late Egyptian Empire for years. He believes a medical text reveals the Nile flood failures had a direct and deadly effect on the health of Cleopatra's people.
There are sanitation diseases and infectious diseases, and these include things like typhoid, cholera. But actually, the symptoms that were described by Dioscorides Phacas were those of fever, malaise, boils, and delirium. And all of these, when you add them together, fit very closely to bubonic plague.
By 41 BC, 3 years after the fateful eruption brought drought and disease to Egypt, Cleopatra couldn't stall any longer. She had to choose a side in the Roman Civil War. And that choice would prove fatal.